School's working on it. It's not loud. You're not walking. So, yeah, so this one here we had from the trail up to the school was even better. I think it's gonna be. But this.
We got to just put the microphone down.
Yeah. That's a good one. Then you got to walk. Well, that's gonna slow down. No? No, I'm not in there. Yeah. You know, it doesn't bother me. Yeah.
All right, let's call this meeting to order, please. It is 7 o'clock. And we've moved the flag up front. If you'll please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Clerk, will you give us a roll call, please? Yes, ma'am.
So we have John.
Here.
Lori. Here. Judy.
Here.
Sue.
Here.
And Laura. Here.
Before we get rolling here, I'd like to ask if I would like to request to make a comment from the board. You have that permission? Yeah, thank you. Couple things. We ran for these positions, supervisor, clerk, treasurer, trustees, to try to bring our community together. We intend to work for the community, sometimes with none of our own interests at heart, which is conflicting, maybe conflicting at times. Our job is not to disparage any previous board member, committee member. Our training has been somewhat on the fly, little to no formal training in the way of transition. Tomorrow, we are all attending the new officials training hosted by Michigan Township Association, or MTA. And we have all purchased or have access to what's called the Red Bible. We refer to it daily. It is very much a guide for us in our position as we enter this new era for ourselves. We will strive to abide by all the laws and policy that govern our actions. The MSP, Michigan State Police, has received multiple complaints already. This entire board is and has been very forthcoming and participating in the investigative process. As we settle into our new positions, gain some training, and get a few board meetings under our belt, some things may change. a couple of reminders. Agendas, which are here on the table for you, for us, they're a guide for the meeting. This is a business meeting. It helps us stay on track. We believe any changes we make to how the meetings will be run will be in accordance with the community being more informed. What we know, we will share with you. If individuals have issues, concerns, suggestions, I encourage you to please reach out. We are staffed, we are fortunate to be staffed Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 and longer. Come by, the door is open, make an appointment, or just stop in. We're here to listen. Thank you. Thank you, board. Okay. Board member conflict of interest statement. None? Okay, very good. Public comment on agenda items. If you have any comment, please feel free to step to the podium. No, I don't see any hands. Okay. Approval of meeting agenda. I have some corrections. The first correction I'd like to bring to the attention is in the at the December 10th meeting, I missed this item, the public comment on agenda items. That was my mistake. I didn't use the agenda, I used my notes, which is why we now have an agenda that I use. It was my mistake. If our clerk will please, when we correct the minutes, we will line that out. Okay. Item I on the minutes from December.
Are we on the minutes?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm sorry. So let me back up. Thank you, Sue. Approval of meeting agenda. Are there changes to the agenda?
No, I'd like to make an addition under new business.
Okay.
I'd like to add a section F. Motion for board to complete attorney contract bid. Was discussed last meeting in regards to more temporary attorney position. Set bid deadline for a reasonable amount of time to receive bids, and create or supplement criteria sheet for legal.
Okay. So we have, okay, so that's item F. Okay, so that's our addition to our agenda. Under new business, item F. Request for bid for legal.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the addition. I'll second that.
Discussion?
No.
No. Okay. Approval of the previous minutes. Yeah, yes, we had a motion on the table. Thank you. So the motion on the table is we want to amend the meeting agenda, adding item F. And there doesn't seem to be any discussion. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Approval of previous minutes. I have some corrections. Okay. I was trying to use an agenda, the December 10th meeting. I was trying to use the agenda and minute and notes for myself, and I missed the public comment on agenda items. So we need to correct that in the December 10th meeting, lining out item 6. Whenever you're ready, I have more. Okay, more. Correct item I, which is under new business. It's just a name correction, spelling typo. I meet and hunt contract for the biosolids bid. It's, the name of the business is Biotech Agronomics, Agronomics, AGRONOMICS. And we have an extra word in that statement. It says, motion made by Smith, supported by Decker to approve the contract at Biotech Agronomics to remove our solid waste once a year, yay. So we need to delete the yay. Okay, yeah. And so those are the corrections I have. Any other corrections to the previous December 10th?
I do. Item J, it's the meet and hunt contract for water services. The minutes state cable, and they should say cable pending legal review. That'll be corrected. And also item G, minutes after sewer treatment plan, I need to add provides operation for the wastewater treatment plant and collection system. The increase was $300 a month.
Will you repeat that, please?
It's item G in the minutes after where it says sewer treatment plant. I need to add provides operation for the wastewater treatment plant and collection system.
Oh, perfect, thank you.
Whenever you're ready, Laura, I've got another correction.
Okay.
It was discussed, I don't know what line item number it was, to reflect, there's a motion to reflect 4-month pause on all commercial rehab district applications. And I did not see that in the prior meeting minutes.
So that was on the commercial rehab district, a 4-month moratorium?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Add that, okay.
Yep, you're reading, sir.
So it'd be section F.
Well, that's the resolution for the application, but I think what you're referring to, we put a pause on it to create criteria. Yes, you're correct. Okay. Anything else? No? Okay. So, with those corrections, we need a motion to approve the December 10th, 2024.
I move that we approve the December 10th, I can talk right, the December 10th, 2024 meeting minutes with the corrections as discussed here.
So we have a motion. Did you get that? Okay. All in favor? I'm sorry, support?
I'll second it.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, say no. Motion passes. Reports. Oh, I should have asked, can we move Stephen Corcoran up? He's come here from Charlevoix. He's just gonna give us a brief synopsis of what's happening with our sewer system. So is that okay if we just move him up? Okay, all right, okay. Stephen, will you please? Thank you. For those that don't know, this is Stephen Corcoran. He's our field engineer from Performance Engineers. He's our boots on the ground guy.
Thank you. One condition though, just please, Steve, you keep saying Stephen. My mom was the only one who used Stephen, and that was only if I was in a little bit of trouble. If she threw my middle name, it was
Oh, boy.
a medium amount of trouble, and all three names, I was in big trouble. So,
Stephen is.
all right, thank you. Just a quick update on how we're going on the ground right now. The wastewater plant itself, they are still working on the concrete for the tanks and the equipment. They got the whole base poured, that was a couple months ago. Last month, we got the first of the 4 wall sections poured, and now they're tying rebar on the next section. And that part has slowed down a little bit with the cold weather. Even with the gloves on, insulated gloves, the guys tied all this rebar. It's not a job I would want. They're creeping along. We're on schedule though to be for completion of that by the end of June. Don't know exactly when it'll be operational. The equipment should be delivered in late end of March. Hopefully we'll start seeing the equipment going in sometime in April. So that's what we're going on the plant right now. Phase 1, the gravity section, Elmer's has been working on that. They are ahead of schedule. In fact, they came this close to having all their pipe in the ground before they shut down for the winter. And that dream ended today.
Oh, boy.
So there's just one section of pipe that needs to be drilled to connect the new system to the existing system underneath Arthur and Floyd. And it just got too cold. And they're still waiting on their biggest drill to get in here. And they pulled the plug today. They'll do that in a couple of months when things, when frost laws come off. And get that. They'll be in the spring. They'll be tuning things up, getting restoration work done, getting the roads that were opened up, tuned up, and paved as soon as they can get Ruth Riley's schedule first thing. Matt's Underground, who's doing the pressure system north of the bridge over the Columbus Beach Club and down South Prospect. They're on schedule. They're about where we thought they'd be. And they're still kind of poking along, but they're going to get frozen out here pretty soon too, I think. But they've been working up in the Columbus Beach Club. The phase 2 contractor, and that one contract has both the gravity and the pressure sewer system. We're meeting with them to get their scheduling pinned down. We'll meet with them on February 20th, and then we'll have a better idea of when. Generally, they said they're going to start the gravity section in May, and then the pressure sewers down by the Barbara and Avenue and Sturgeon Island in August. But we don't know what their sequencing is yet. If they're going to start on the Mac end on the gravity or on the Barbara end, we don't know that yet. But their plan is to be done this year as well, by the end of the year. We don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll have to see how things go this summer. That's how those are going right now. So that's a status update. On tonight, you have the 3 pay requests for those 3 contracts. And there's also 2 change orders, one for Matt's and one's for Elmer's. If you have any questions on those, I can answer now. It would be great. The lake effect snow bands have been following me around. They were all up night at my house in Charlevoix last night. And then they followed me to Mansalone, where I got hit by one all day there. And then I ran out of it in Gaylord on the way up here tonight. So hoping I didn't bring one up here for you guys tonight. But I'd like to head out back home here. If you have any specific questions, especially on the change orders, I'll field them now, if that's all right.
Do you want to just give a brief overview of those change orders? I think you can.
I can, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
One of them is for bollards for both contractors. The bollards are just basically a steel pipe full of concrete to protect stuff. So we're trying to protect the lift stations. Our standard design on our plans show 1 bollard. And seeing how, especially on, race boat weekend and that, the people park everywhere around here. We're thinking we're going to probably need 1 or 2 more for each one of these lift stations. So I priced it out as an estimate on two more for each lift station. I don't know if we're going to use 2 more on each lift station. We asked each contractor to give us their bids. Their bids are close to each other, but not exactly the same. If they're exactly the same, I'd be concerned if these guys were colluding on their bidding and that, but that's what those are. It's not a lot of money. The other one, there was some discrepancies on how the plans read on the size of the structures, the lift stations, the clean outs, the air releases and that. Everything was supposed to be 5 foot in diameter. And when they both used the same supplier, but when their submittals came through, some of them came through as 4 footers and we missed it, we approved a 4 footer. They needed to be 5 footers. So this is the cost difference for having them use a 5 footer instead of a 4 footer for those. And the prices are a little bit different. One, we have to cut the hatches out, or they have to cut the hatches out. A couple of the lids, and put those in. One contractor broke those out as a separate line item, the other one rolled that into their price increase. So if you add everything up, they're about the same, but they're not identically the same. But neither one's a lot. Our contingency is looking pretty good. And this was the other thing I was going to tell you when I met earlier with you, and I forgot. I've done a load test on the pay items going, especially with Elmer's and Matt's, going out what we know is already done, what we know has to be done yet, what my estimate is on that. And then we do a closeout changeover at the end, because we did more of this, less of this, more of this, less of this, and it all balances out. I've done that load test and we're looking all right.
Okay.
Neither one, we're not going to blow anything up as far as I can see.
Okay.
This would be the first, these two would be the first draw on the
On the
contingency.
It's the first one from Matt's, or from Elmer's, and it's the second one from Matt's. We did one earlier on Matt's. We had to put in some sidewalk replacement over in Columbus Beach Club because the laterals are going to the property lines, which are going through some sidewalks that I missed when I was doing my estimate. So we're gonna owe them for that, whatever it is. It's not a ton of money. And pulverization. We did not account for pulverizing the pavement over there in the gravity sections. And so that wasn't a ton of money either, but that was in their first change order. One thing I didn't do in previous jobs, I can walk, I can get ahead of you and say, well, if you put this agenda item on first and this one on second, this one on third, then I can walk you through each one, how the contingency is going to go down between this item and that item and that item. I didn't do that on these. I just tell you what the contingency is, it's going to be dropping here, and you can look at it and do the math.
Yeah.
But you would have to put them on the agenda exactly the way I thought about in doing it. So I didn't do it that way. But also, we're not talking a lot of money. It's not going to come close to running out your contingency. So I didn't do that. If you want me to do it that way in the future, I can. It's just a little more.
I think we can
Okay.
figure that out.
All right.
Any other questions for Steve?
I just have one more with, when you were saying you're online, is there any possibility it's gonna come under so that we can get some of this contingency back?
Oh, yeah. I'm predicting that you're not going to run out your contingency.
I know.
So, but I don't want to put a figure on it.
I know. I'm just concerned because I believe the contingency was monies that we were waiting to get back from USDA at the end, that they were holding some of our money. Am I correct? So I was just hoping that maybe the other bid items were gonna, maybe be a little bit less so that.
Well, I could tell you the two biggest drivers on it right now were, one, we factored in a lot of dewatering based on our borings and what we thought the water table was when we did the borings in that. It was so dry in August and September that the water table was so far down. We hardly spent any money on dewatering in the gravity contract area. I was astounded that we didn't have to dewater down at Depot Beach or at Constance and Arbor. That just blew me away. However, the quality of the soils in the roads for most of the gravity phase sucked. The marl the marl was up, we thought it was deeper, it was not, and so we paid a lot more to undercut and bring in stuff. Now, fortunately, we were able to bring in sand from the pit, so that helped a lot. But those two numbers alone were huge, one in the good direction, one in the bad direction. And the bad direction was bigger than the good direction. But it's still, we're not gonna bankrupt your contingency. But those are the two drivers.
Okay. And thanks. Any other questions? No? Okay.
All right,
Thanks, Steve.
thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Safe trip. Safe trip home. Okay. And bills.
I need to make a change to the bill amendment. An amendment to the bills. I need to add the check to the fire department. And the amount is $1,086. Can I just take a nap? $186,724.75.
Thank you, that's a little bit.
Nothing
to worry.
So was I.
$1.86.
We're out of here.
Oh,
So how are we on our, do we need a motion on that too? To add that? No, yeah.
Well, then, yeah, if you're gonna have it separate, then yeah, your motion to pay the bill.
To pay that bill, or pay the bill.
All bills.
Any other questions on the bills?
Just a comment, that was fun. To collect that money, give it to you guys.
That's the first, I will say.
What?
No, I.
Yeah. Okay. So we need a motion to pay the bills and accept the addition of the fire department payment. Do we have that motion
I'll make that motion.
and support?
I can support that.
Very good. Are you ready? Yeah. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Treasurer's report.
Oh, great. This is the hard part.
You want to turn this way?
No, that's okay. Give me a break. No, you selected. You did this yesterday, and it worked just fine.
You need to be closer.
I probably need to be on the other side. I can see it just fine. Come on, I've been out of teaching for what, 6 months? I had to do a PowerPoint. There. And then this is different. Yeah, anyway. So I want to start with, as we know from the last meeting, 2/3 of special assessment sewer phase 2 did not get the special assessment put on their tax bills for December. There also were 3 people in sewer phase 1 that did not get their special assessment added. So Board of Review met, approved all those additions, and we got them all on the bills and reprinted on the 26th and got those new bills all mailed out. Answering questions that people had, I already paid my first part, just paid the difference. So that was nice. And then just yesterday, After all the board of review changes, I balanced with Sheboygan County. So our tax roll matches the county's tax roll. So we're looking good. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is the tax checking account. And some of you probably know this and some maybe don't, but I just wanted to, for anybody who's watching at home or watches this later, we have a checking account that's just for taxes. All the tax money goes into that checking account. And then every 2 weeks I disperse. That's what the law says I do. I can disperse more often if I want, and I have, but at least every 2 weeks. And so far, since December 1st, we have collected and dispersed, we have collected almost 3.3 million. Now, the township, meaning the fire, the police, the streetlights, the library, and the township, we only keep about 30% of any monies that we collect. The rest goes out to county, the school, and then the township, which then gets dispersed, as you saw tonight, a check to the fire department. So we're doing good, but as we know, all of our money comes in on this December tax bill, because during the summer, everything goes up to the county. So this is where we have to get it all in. Now, what I wanted to show was someone brought up the fact that when we got into office in November, there wasn't a lot of money in the pool checking account. So tax is just taxes, and then we disperse it to everybody. And that goes in the pool account, which is one checking account that everybody, library, police, we all have the same checkbook with their different funding, like sewers 590, and so, but it's all in one. So when we got here, we saw, 2003 is the blue. So this is you can see it trends down, of course, because we collected the money, now we're spending it. But when we got here, it was to here. So we said, don't spend. Bare minimum, don't give anything extra until we can figure out what's going on. We knew, and I believe the previous board knew, that come December 1, we had Navinois assessment, we had sewer 1 assessment, we had sewer 2 assessment. We still had a little bit of Wabi and Chippewa. So I believe they knew the money was going to come in, so they were fine. And they did a lot of things during the course of that downtrodden down. When you first look at it, you go, but then as you start digging into the numbers, the police upped their retirement fund of $277,000 to put into the police retirement. The streetscape, all the lights were put in. We had to pay consumers. We got a truck for the parks. The sewer plant expansion, we had to put in some money to start with, and then all the sewer systems, and then of course paving Navinois. So you can see, it was all great projects, but it did make for a little scary when we first got here. But I plan to tell you what the bank balances were, because previous boards always put the bank balance. There's a report in that first part, and it says how much is in the pool account, how much is in, think of this as your check register at home, and you've been depositing money and writing checks out of it, and nobody bothered to record any of that in the register. So whatever's on that report is not accurate to what's really in the bank. And I'm not going to give you a report that's not accurate just because you're used to always getting it. And maybe no one looks at it, but I'm not going to put out misleading information. So I plan to pull all those dollar amounts, but the sewer meeting ran a little long. So from my memory, pool is up to 1.1 million and tax is at 2.3 million. And those are the two that I was looking at. And we have, the library has some of their own special accounts, but those are the two that on that slide, it didn't look good, but they're looking good now. So no worries.
If I can, just chip in on that. Once the audit is done, there will be some adjustments made as well. And that's why some of the numbers are not correct. And if I may say, it's because it's still sitting in the tax account from last year. So as soon as the audit is done, we know what adjustments need to be made. That will help a lot of corrections too, so that the journal is showing accurately.
And if you have any questions, of something that you want to know about before the next meeting, you're curious about, just let me know. I'll whip up another boring PowerPoint or do something, but I am open to whatever you want to know about. I'm willing to share. You just have to let me know and I can get that for you. So, or stop by and chit chat. Usually have popcorn from Pat Gary's too, in case you're interested. I said
That's
that's
customers.
I don't think there's any motion need to be done to accept that, or do we need to make a motion to accept that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, so we have a treasurer's report. We need a motion, please, to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll make that motion.
And support.
I'll support it.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Very good. Correspondence. We did get 2 letters this month. Well, we received an email, I consider that correspondence, from Mr. Jakeway asking for a letter of support for his project. The letter is to accompany his application to the MEDC for the another grant program. It would be to help him with gap funding. And the other bit of correspondence is a letter from the Indian River Area Library Board of Trustees. If they were stating their position on wanting their funds removed from the pool account. And that's the correspondence that we have. Okay. And next item, we've done the sewer, under reports. Airport. Is Doug Schofield? No. Okay, so the airport report is that they've had a pipe burst out there in their terminal. There's a bathroom. They are monitoring, they do a walkabout, and they found that a pipe was burst and there was water and ice everywhere. We have contacted the insurance carrier. They are in the process of cleaning it up and we're looking at some bids. So that's the airport report. DDA, Mr. Nivell.
You want me up here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hate to go up picture. So the streetscape, we are still, as you know, we're still working on the poles on the east side. Pollards is now done. I talked to Consumers Power and the last electrician that we have. They're trying to schedule everything in the next 2 weeks to get, then all the poles will be done on that east side. Then we have concrete work in the spring. As soon as the weather breaks, we have concrete work to repair where the whole poles were. The other things that we have been talking about is possibly getting a pathway down from the school to Cooperation Park. The school I've been talking with the school. They are very interested in getting involved in that, and they are applying for a grant.
Oh, good.
So once we get that done, I think that our next step as a DDA board is to discuss going out for getting a survey done on that. And we'll probably discuss that at our next meeting, which is next week.
Very good. Great.
That's it.
Very good. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Freedom of Information Act, we had no requests. And the Indian River Area Library, Kelsey, your director. Thank you, ma'am.
Hi. I'm Kelsey, the director of the Indian River Area Library. So I just have a few events that I wanted to share with everybody. We have a winter reading program that's going on right now. It ends January 31st on that Friday. You just need to pick up a program bookmark. I tailored it specifically so that people who work can still do it and not be overwhelmed. So I would really recommend actually trying it. The prize is something that I wish I had myself. So I think that it's just really exciting. And if you come in, I'll show you what it is because it's in already. And we do have a prize for children and a prize for adults. And honestly, I think the adult prize is better, but don't tell the kids. And so we also have a program coming up that I'm very excited about. It's our Kitten Cuddles program. So you can relax and enjoy some time playing, cuddling, and interacting with adoptable kittens in this program. It's going to be held in our meeting room in the library. You get 15 minutes with them, but if there's nobody else in the time slot, you can have a little more time. And that is all provided by the Sheboygan County Humane Society very generously. They're not like giving us a cat, so that's something that you can decide if you want to have. So you can sign up for your 15-minute time slot on our website. It's for all ages, for anyone who needs to de-stress after the holidays and just enjoy some time with some sweet little kittens. We also have a Cookies and Cocoa Social, and that's Friday, January 31st, 2 to 4 p.m. So you can snack on delicious spread of cookies, all home baked by different very talented bakers in our community, and a hot cocoa bar. And so that's something that anyone can enjoy. Feel free to bring your own cookies if you'd like to share. You can sign up on our website to attend, or you can come day of the event, space permitting, but I think we'll just invite everyone. And we also have a snowshoe hike that's coming in February. So that's February 11th at 1 p.m. The sign up is on our website. You can join the library and Little Traverse Conservancy for a snowshoe hike. It's at the Seven Springs Nature Preserve, and that's where we'll be meeting. And you can bring the snowshoes if you have them, or if you can just let us know on the sign up, and the Little Traverse Conservancy will provide them for you. So those are some upcoming events. And then we also, if you have or know of anyone who is homebound this winter season, the Friends of the Indian River Area Library does provide homebound delivery service, so we'd be willing to, they have drivers that will take the items to you. You don't have to pick out the items yourself. You could also just let us know genres or anything that you like, and we'll pick out the items and the drivers will take them to you. So that's something that's also on our website, or we do have paper forms at the library for anyone who's not comfortable using a computer. And also our True Crime Podcast Club is coming back on January 23rd. So we paused for the winter months, but we're back. And the podcast is called The Dropout. It's really good. So if you need any help listening to podcasts, come in and we'll help teach you how to do that. And that's pretty much everything I've got. So thank you.
Great, thank you. Very good. And our parks, Beth?
I'm more nervous than I was. Okay, hello. For those who don't know me, my name is Beth Henderson. I'm currently the chairperson for the Parks Commission. As of right now, we have 4 people on the board. Assistant co-chairperson is Gail Hall, Secretary Pam McGinnis, Treasurer Stacy Cole, and a youth representative is Andrew Cole. I would like to give you a little updates on what we have been working on since we took office in November. First, we would like to thank the Women's Club for their generous donation for 6 new benches that will be placed down at Devo Beach, the purchase of the red snowflake banners. Unfortunately, we did not get the grant for the bathrooms down at Devo Beach. So we are in the process of applying and reapplying for grants. And if anyone has any suggestions or help, you could come up with some funds that we would greatly appreciate. We are working on tweaking our policies and rental agreements. Another project we have to consider would be the repair/replacement of the retaining wall. And we are in the process of completing a grant that we received from the Sheboygan County, and it was called Sheboygan County Youth Grant through the AARP. The money was allocated for cooperation portfolio. Thank you.
Thanks, Beth. Police report, Chief.
So last month on December 12th, the police department and some members from Tuscarora Township Fire Department participated with the Shop the Hero program. It was police, fire, EMS, and they took about 60 kids shopping for Christmas at Walmart in Sheboygan. So the other thing in December, first 2 weeks of December, we had an anonymous donor who donated 20 turkeys to our department. And for the first 2 weeks of December, instead of giving tickets, we were passing out turkeys. This is the second year we've done this. It's actually been very, very well received in our community, and the officers really enjoyed passing them out. So I'd like to say thank you to that anonymous donor. The other thing I have is our yearly stats for 2024. We handled 2,289 complaints. We made 42 bench warrant arrests, 78 misdemeanor arrests, 76 traffic arrests, 45 felony arrests, 2 juvenile arrests. Gave 275 citations, 2,532 verbal warnings. We did write 13 ordinance violation and 17 snowmobile citations. Would you mind if I get an update on the building grant?
Please.
So we, Kelsey and I should say, have somehow got put in charge of the building grant. We had a little over $98,000 spent. We've gotten all the financial status reports done. All that money has now came back from the federal government. We have $101,000 more to spend. We're currently working on water softener for the building. And we are accepting bids for the construction project. That's primarily downstairs and some of it's in the library. And fire suppression. So we've already made the down payment for the fire suppression. They're supposed to be here sometime middle of February to end of February. Anavon Technology to finish up the security cameras. They'll be in here on February 4th. White Pines Electric finished up their electrical stuff yesterday, so we're definitely on track. I'm just waiting to get the construction bids in now.
Who is that here today working?
That was for the library.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'll let Kelsey handle that.
Okay, I was just curious. I thought it was Anavon, is it?
Oh, no, that was Vector Tech. So they're here to do the tech upgrades on the building. So they're basically adding in a bunch of access points, and they are splitting out our internet so that we all get more bandwidth. So it should speed up everybody's internet. So, and they also moved all of the equipment that was in the electrical room, they put in the library. So we've got that in a more accessible place now. So this is day 1 of 3. That's why my voice is a little dry, because they've been the amount of dust that they've kicked up in there. But this is day 1 of 3. Day 2, they'll be doing some more cabling, and then day 3 is mainly when we'll get some internet spottiness, and that's because they'll be hooking everything up. But it's all good things, and I'm seeing. So it's all through E-rate, and because of that, we have an 80% discount. It's normally like $23,000 at least for everything we're getting done. But we're only paying about $3,500 between the departments. And so I'm hoping to keep working with E-rate to get more things like this, to keep updating our building with a much cheaper, like not nearly as expensive as it could be. So I think it'll be good. And they're great people, so I think we'll keep doing that.
Thank you. Thank you both for all your work on that. That building grant paperwork was unbelievable. You both did a great job. But so Kelsey, on Thursday, we might experience some spotty internet. Is that okay? Okay. And
Possibly Wednesday, but mostly Thursday.
okay, and I think that is posted on the website just in case you're in here. So okay, good deal. Thank you. Thank you everyone for doing that. Okay. Old business. Tokyo Marine is our, they hold our surety bond, and a claim was made against the surety bond through Tokyo Marine. The claim was that, well, let me back up. The workman's compensation, the way workman's compensation works, you're billed in advance based on the previous year's premium. And workman's comp is billed on payroll. So they bill you for your year, you go through your year. At the end of your coverage period, they want you to do a payroll audit. To help encourage you to do that, they give you 45 days. And if you don't do it, then they charge you a non-compliance fee. And it's quite steep because they want that data. They need it. And based on that data, then they balance bill you the difference in your workman's comp premium. So that's what happened. A claim was filed claiming that the non-compliance fee, which was $9,996, was a charge. And if we look in here, and yet, once the audit was completed, and it was late, but it was completed, accident fund refunded of that $9,996, they refunded $7,522. The difference there being the additional premium due based on the actual payroll audit. Okay. We received a check from Tokyo Marine in the amount of $10,310.61. We reached out to inquire why. We were told it was a claim on the surety bond under a section of our coverage for clerk dishonesty. We reached out to Accident Fund and asked for an explanation list of our charges over the past, I believe, 5 years. And we received that. And then we had them confirm that and in that billing and transaction report, it shows that they refunded, $78.22, pardon me, excuse me. So we reached out to Tokyo Marine and said, hey, what's going on here with this? We need to refund this money. And Tokyo Marine said, indeed, we were not made aware of the refund by Accident Fund to you. So in effect, the claim should never have been paid. So and the documentation is in your board packet. So.
So, do we just need, we'll need to make a motion to pay that back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And if you look at the email, I think there are two options there. From Sharon Woods, our senior claim adjuster.
And I had Neil Hammerbacher in the office with me working when I first started, and he was made aware of that. He very strongly advised us to send that money back.
The entire 10,000?
Yes.
Is that was his recommendation?
Yes.
Okay. Questions, concerns, comments, Jonathan?
No, I guess, it's not our money to have, but
Exactly. Right.
the appropriate to send it back.
So we need a motion to refund $10,000 to Tokyo Marine.
$10,310.61. Okay. I motion that we refund the $10,310.61 back to Tokyo Marine that we should not have accepted.
Claim.
Unclaimed.
In effect, that renders that claim
Null and void.
null and void, non-existent. Okay. We need support for that? Or support? Discussion? Additional discussion?
I guess, do we know where this claim was made, or?
It went back to the time when our clerk was Dolly Rodriguez. I don't know what.
No,
Oh.
actually, it was, when Dawn, it was shortly before the 2022 election,
Okay,
the governor's race.
okay,
And she was slammed, she didn't get it done on time,
right.
but they refunded the money.
So the initial charge of $99.96 and change was because the audit didn't fall within that 45 days. So according to Grace Augustine at Accident Fund, she said, we cranked that up, that non-compliance charge. It's about 30 to 50%. They want that data, and she said we do it purposefully. And they did. The audit was completed, and the refund came through 7822. I misspoke, it is 7822. The difference that so the initial claim was paid out under the surety bond. It was the maximum amount, I believe, under the insurance for what's the section referred to as clerk dishonesty. The 31061 is interest. Again, we should not have made the claim. We should not have kept the, we should not keep the money. So. Any other question, concern?
Get the audit in on time.
Yes, get the audit in on time, yeah, exactly. So, let's do a roll call on that. Yeah, I think.
Okay, we have Sue,
Yes.
Trudy,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
and yes.
Motion passes to refund $10,310.61 in full to Tokyo Marine HCC.
I guess if I can piggyback on that, is that gonna come out of the general fund or?
Yes. And that's it for old business. New business. The sewer construction bills, Steve went over those with us. Chris and I will be signing these so that we can get our contractors paid. It is for phase 1, phase 2, typo on that, and wastewater treatment plant expansion sewer bills. Sewer 1 gravity project, $401,005.65. For the lift stations and valve vaults at Depot Beach, intersection of Constance and Arthur, and the intersection of Lake and Poplar. Okay. And then from that's underground for phase 1 low pressure system in the amount of $90,557.80. Work performed to date. Installing structures and piping for the lift station in the Columbus Beach Club and the lift station at the intersection of Prospect Street and Chippewa Beach Road. And then we have pay request to Grand Traverse Construction for the treatment plant expansion in the amount of $252,046.40. It's, again, as Steve stated, focused on the placement of rebar and concrete work for the new tanks. $146,186.95 will come out of the USDA phase 1 work alone. And then $105,859.45 will come out of the Eagle funding.
The Eagle is the grant.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. And as I understand it, and we use loan. No, I'm not sure my understanding is correct on. Help me out with this, Chris.
You use the USDA loan fund when you touch the USDA grant.
Thank you. Okay. So will someone make a motion to accept those bills and authorize them for payment? Can we do that all at once? Yeah.
I move that we authorize these bills to be paid.
And do we have support?
No support.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Are you ready? Okay. Next item, Mead and Hunt For our
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry.
the, change orders.
Oh.
Those need not approve.
Oh, good catch, thank you. So we,
That he had talked about up here about
Yes, ma'am.
adding those concrete, no, that was the 4 to 5 inch.
4 to 5 feet.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
yep.
So I'm under the impression these concrete structures are going on those lift stations so people can't park on top of them?
So they're 4 to 5 feet around. I call them Crocs. I don't know what they're made out of. And they are, the grinder pumps are inside them. And then the connections, the plumbing connections and the electrical are inside there, and then there's a lid on them. And they're buried.
Okay. So we will see them above ground a little bit?
I don't think we will.
Okay.
I don't think we will. And you'll notice the difference when he talked about one of the vendors had their estimate come in. It included the removal of the lids and the other one didn't, and that was the difference in price.
Okay.
That we questioned. And then the bollards are they're tubular, bright yellow, keep it from backing into them, hopefully. So, yeah.
Is there also an invoice here for performance engineers?
Yeah, there should be for their oversight or overseeing of the project.
Okay.
It should be at the very beginning.
I think right here it said for 65,000. I'm not crazy about using the contingency, but it seems to make sense.
Yeah, I agree.
So that comes to a total of 42,246 for the two contingencies. If I read it correctly.
The total net increase in cost of the contract is $18,915. And the phase one contingency fund currently has $227,072.33. The last page before the change order has the dollar amounts at the bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to agree to the additions, the change orders, 1 and 2. Sorry, I think I'm gonna have that. And then also the invoice to performance.
So we have a motion.
There's 2.
It's one of those.
Yes.
Of
Yeah.
the invoices.
2 invoices for performance engineering.
Yes. Okay.
And the 2 change orders.
Which were before that. Change order number 1.
Which
Change
is
order.
for mats underground.
Yep. Got it.
We should wait for some. So we have the 2 performance engineers invoices for their contract administration and construction oversight. $949.60, $949.60. And for contract administration, engineering design revisions and construction oversight, construction inspection. Total on that invoice, $65,088.93. But then we also have Mead and Hunt professional services for August and September. Let's do these one at a
I was
time.
gonna say, were they
Yeah.
entered into the,
No, because they go for the Eagle.
Yeah, we come out of Eagle.
okay,
Construction, correct.
I don't think we have to do each one individually.
So the motion, we've had a motion to authorize for payment the phase 1 and 2. Now Sue's got, wastewater treatment plant, Sue has a motion on the table to agree to the additional 2 change orders and the invoices, 2 invoices to performance engineers. And Mead and Hunt, thank you. And for Mead and Hunt, those are professional services for the technicians at the treatment plant for August, the month of August, and the months of September.
Do we have a second? Did we have a second?
Not yet,
I'll second that.
okay. Discussion?
So the initial invoices will come out of the Eagle, and then the contingency will, or excuse me, the, I guess amended change orders would come out of the contingency, but
Exactly, yes. Any other question? No, you're good, okay. Okay, all those in favor to agree to pay, accept and pay the 2 change orders, the 2 performance engineering invoices, and the 2 Mead and Hunt invoices, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. This is a big one. Item B, excuse me. Mead and Hunt potential screen purchase and installation for the wastewater treatment plant. We may recall last summer of '24, Mr. Kramer mentioned that the screen, if you've ever toured the wastewater treatment plant, where the solids come in, they're filtered with a big screen, and it comes up and the solids go one way and the liquids go the other. This has been broken for over a year. It's been being cleaned by hand. It needs to be done. It's very specific to our plant. Tammy went out and toured the area wastewater treatment facilities, and the Dupron flex rate is particular to our machinery out there. She can buy different parts and they can be replaced versus replacing the whole screen again, which is why she recommended this screen and filter system. She did not ask for any of the additional attachments. There was a bagging system. They're handling that in a different way. It is $98,000. That does not include installation. Excuse me, the installation will be bid. We'll work on that, but this has to get ordered. If we approve it, it has to get ordered. It's going to take some time for it to come. Then we can work on bids for installation.
why can't we get bids first
For
as to what, I mean, do we have an idea of what the cost would be for installation? I understand we need it.
Yeah. No, no. We can, that's a good question. Get,
How often does this need to be cleaned out?
all day. It runs pretty much continuously as the sewage comes into the plant, and it separates where it comes in. So the liquids are going out into the tanks, the treatment tanks, and the solids are being caught here and up. And if you're looking at the estimate, it takes, it's like, conveyor belt with the solids, and they drop off this chute into a bagging system. They're using a different mechanism to catch the solids.
Yeah, I guess what I'm getting at is, I guess what's our timeline or estimated time frame of getting this, and I guess.
It's gonna be a few months.
Before it gets here.
Before it even gets here.
But I think we should be able to get a bid
On installation, yeah,
prior to ordering.
okay. What are you thinking on, and I don't know the request for proposal for that.
We should have to clean it every day.
Yeah.
Tammy would probably be able to help. I think, there's the one company that, has done that kind of, not that work, but
Johnny Green was a company she mentioned. She mentioned Grand Traverse Construction.
Grand Traverse
Yeah,
Construction.
and they're out there doing work. And, she mentioned those two would be able to give us estimates. And then have to find one more possibly. So are you thinking that we want to table this and do RFP for installation? Just to get a ballpark?
I'm just more comfortable that way, but,
I think that's fair.
This question, do we know what caused it to break? So maybe in 7, 8 years it doesn't happen again? Is there a problem with the system?
Tammy probably does. I don't, if she told me, I don't remember.
we can find out.
Yeah, we can find out.
That'd be something to look into.
Yeah.
So put that for next meeting. And if we can get those bids, we can always have a special meeting to get it approved, to get it ordered.
True. Okay. So do you want to make a motion to table this until such time as we have?
Motion to table.
Do we need to table, make a motion to table?
I don't know.
Let's do it.
Okay,
Just to
I'll
be
make a
safe.
motion to table this until we receive bids for installation
Okay.
and find out if this new system's gonna last, how long it's,
Right. Well, maybe she can come and answer some questions.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I'll support that.
Okay. And any more discussion? Can we get that backwards?
That's okay.
Okay, all in favor to table this and gather more information, get RFPs for installation, talk to Tammy, get more information on the timeframe from order to delivery, cause of breakage, durability. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Very good. Okay. The USIC contract. USIC is a business that we contract with for Mystic. We're all familiar with Mystic. It's been suggested that we add to the USIC. USIC handles utilities, sewer lines, water lines, electrical. And if you don't call Mystic and you break them, it's your responsibility, or the contractor if they don't call Mystic. So what's been suggested by Tammy is, because we are having all these new hookups coming in the phase 1 and sewer district, we have water, we have the original sewer line running through the commercial, we have water lines, we have electrical, we have cable we have all sorts of things. We have, she wants us to add to the USIC contract, residential sewer lines and any existing water line. Because if we don't and somebody clips it, the liability falls to the township. If we have them on our contract for USIC and I call and say I want to hook up, or my contractor calls in, they want to hook up and they mistake comes out and they still clip the line, it's on my contractor. It's a protection for the township. Okay? That's the concept. This would also include mapping the existing water line. So we're looking at adding phase 1 and phase 2 residential water sewer lines to the mapping service and adding the existing water line at Commerce Park from the well house to the treatment plant. And this is again to protect the township from any liability for any possible damage. The financial impact is up. She suggested we put a limit of $500 on there. She didn't think it would go over that to add that service to USIC. So the motion that needs to be made is to contract with USIC to add phase 1, phase 2 residential sewer lines and the existing water line in Commerce Park to the USIC contract.
Makes perfect sense. Should have had it done.
Yeah,
We should have already done it.
and
With everything that's already been buried.
yeah, exactly. And she's already been, she's been going to talk with performance engineers to get the, what did she refer to it as? Ready to, there's a type of mapping that they have. Ready? Oh, shoot, I'm sorry, I can't think of the phrase. Anyway. And they'll work with her on their, they're keeping maps of their sewer lines and she would use that. So motion on the table, I guess I'll make the motion to add phase 1, phase 2 residential sewer lines and the existing water line in Commerce Park to the mapping USIC contract. Do we have support?
I'll support.
Okay. Discussion?
No, I think it's a great idea. I mean, I think in the future it could be discussed, but, as of right now, we don't have a DPW that can respond and be there within 2 minutes to, kind of remedy the problem and, where is it coming from that's gonna be fixed, so I think it's money well spent.
I agree. What? Oh, I mean, also, I just, if you had any other comments? No. There's a question. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. That's okay. Fire department, thank you, chief.
So I do have a few handouts, is that okay?
Yep, absolutely.
I won't take it long, I'll take it short. Want a handout? All right, so I'm Dave Carpenter, I'm the fire chief at our local fire department. Brian Trombley over here is our president. And Carl Pollard is one of our officers, and these guys help out quite a bit. For 2024, we responded to 204 calls, up about 20 calls in 2023. We are one of the busiest stations in Sheboygan County. Probably, I think the closest is about 90 runs. So we do run quite a bit, and that's not, normally we don't run any medical. You'll see on here, we did assist medical, but we don't get paged out for, the medical runs also. The breakdown on the sheet there we handed out, we had 15 gas leaks, 42 fire alarms, and that includes everything from kitchen fires, sheds on fire, to a mobile home, to a full building, to a house, but it's not vehicle fires. Auto accidents, we had 47 response to auto accidents. Probably ask Gordy, he'll post that, seems like our accidents are up quite a bit more than what they used to be. System medical, so that's where we help out with EMS, whether it's to help out with CPR or to drive the rig or to get somebody out of a basement or, that's falling in downstairs or whatever, we usually give them a hand with that. Had 9 rescue on the water, CO2 and smoke detector, we had 6. Brush and grass fires, thank God we're not out in LA, we only had 28 brush fires, thank God. Power lines, we had 33 down power lines, 1 hazmat run, and then just a couple miscellaneous calls that we got canceled on. Average en route time is 2 minutes and 44 seconds. So that's for somebody to acknowledge the page. Usually it's myself. It used to be 2 minutes and 22 seconds, but I'm up to 2 minutes and 44 seconds. I don't know where that extra 20 seconds got in there, but I am getting older, so I do have to stop sometimes to go to the bathroom. Arrival on the scene, average about 8 minutes and 24 seconds. We pumped approximately 400,000 gallons of water last year. That's also with mutual aid, so sometimes we help out with that, so it's not just our department. We completed over 455 man hours of training. Each fireman now has to document, acknowledge, and take minimum of 12 hours of training. It doesn't sound like a lot, but trying to fit that in with your work schedule and all the fire meetings that we have. Currently, we have 31 firemen, 3 are in school, and they'll be graduating in May, hopefully. Just a little information here. So each fireman, this is what it costs us to equip a fireman. And we know these figures, so we constantly are buying this kind of stuff. So these numbers are pretty accurate, but you're looking at around 15,000, a little over 15,000 to equip a fireman when he comes on. Times that times 31, that's 482,000. Now the best thing is, National Fire Protection Agency, NFPA, mandates that we replace this every 10 years. It expires. Our helmets expires, our gloves expires, our jackets expire. Everything expires in 10 years. They want us to replace it. So basically, about $500,000 every 10 years. We've got to come up with it. So we spread that out over a period. We don't do it all at once, obviously. Okay. Our last truck we bought was $421,000. Then we put about $80,000 in ladders and hoses and all the equipment on there. In addition, our next truck will be between probably $750,000 and $900,000. Let's see here. I just had a couple other notes on here. So our next backup truck. So our last truck we bought was already a 2016, and our next truck in line is 25 years old. Okay, so it's getting old. Today, matter of fact, we just received a backup battery, jaws of life, so it's a backup system. It's going to go on our main rig, and that costs us $41,000. We are getting $11,600 from the Fire Association for Sheboygan County, so we just picked that up. They just delivered it today. 2 years ago, we replaced all our self-breathing apparatus. We call them SCBAs. Those are the tanks, the masks that we put on to go into a fire. That cost about $231,000. Fuel budget items that you're in here on my notes. Just our truck fuel of $12,000. Our insurance is $32,000. Turnout gear that we replaced, just replacement of gear during the year, is $15,000. Truck maintenance and servicing about $40,000. Annual ladder, hose and ladder inspection, $7,500 a year. Okay, so it's a very expensive business to be in. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Just go and try to open up a fire station because it's very, very expensive to maintain and keep out of it and stuff.
Yeah. Well, what's the cost without it? What's the cost? What's the value of a life?
What value on it? You can't. I mean, it's we can replace that garage. Not that little boy that's in the Indian River that drowned or whatever, we can replace it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Well, if anybody had any questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, Item D is the fire department contract. It's a calendar year contract. It did expire, December 31st, 2024. The correct contract, will be for, 2025. It is approximately a 9%, just under 9% increase. You can see, up in 2024, $283,000, $784. The 2025 contract is $308,920. So the discussion is to review the contract and discuss contract.
It looks like the same contract that we've had for years.
Yeah.
I only see, the dates change and the dollar amount, which is understandable.
And Chief, you explained to me that with this contract, there's a primary, well, how did you phrase it? That if,
For like the additional coverage and
Yep.
stuff. So if there's something, beyond our scope of what we can handle, good example, is we had that truck go through town here and it went into the river right here between the bridges. Well, we need a crane, we don't have a crane, you know, we gotta pick that out of the water, you know, we gotta get it out very soon, because it's got oils and gas and stuff in there. That's beyond our scope of what we can do. So what I did with that, I immediately called Mike Ridley at the time, said, hey, we're gonna get a crane from Rand, I don't know the cost of it yet, but we gotta get those out. And he said, yep, no problem. It still went on the guy's insurance, so they covered it, just in case their insurance didn't cover it. And I think it was around $4,000 to have that crane with that truck on there. That's where we would go to the township and, you know, work that out. That's what that's for.
And we do try to, from a billing standpoint, nobody in township ever gets billed other than a contract. We find mostly on I-75, we had, one example was, one of those cattle haulers caught fire. And we were out there for quite a few hours. Number one, getting it put out, then removing, what needed to be out. So in that situation, we damaged a lot of hose because of, but anyway, we billed their insurance company, so. If they didn't pay that, that would not come out of the township. That's just an example of, we try to, when there's people that don't live in the township and it's a heavy burden on us, we will try to bill their insurance company.
I've been on 41 years and we've never done. It's just there in case something catastrophic, maybe a great big tire fire or something like this here. Carver City had that one over there, and they were there for weeks, putting this out, and, just the 5-gallon bucket of the foam was $155 now. And we would use thousands of foam, and so it could be, you could spend $100,000 in just foam, So that could really put a hurt to a department like this, so.
Right. Okay. So, do we want to make a motion to accept this contract? Yeah. Yeah, so we need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. And the support for that?
I'll support that.
Discussion? It's pretty straightforward.
Thank you guys for everything.
All those in favor of renewing the contract with the Tuscarora Township Fire Department for 2025? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And finally on our agenda Oh, I'm sorry, yep, thank you. Resolution for charitable gaming license. The Indian River Women's Club has asked us to, they're asking for us to pass a resolution, which is provided by the state of Michigan, Michigan Lottery Department Gaming Division, to recognize the Indian River Women's Club as a nonprofit organization so that they can then go out and get a gaming license. They do fundraisers for our community. They'll get 2 gaming licenses this year. And if you have driven from here to the Fish, you'll see many things that the Indian River Women's Club has provided to our township. This doesn't cost the township anything. It allows them to fundraise that comes back into our community. And beautification, and pavilions, the beautiful fish that's down there that was done with the LPA. So we need a motion to pass this resolution. It is attached. So we need a motion to pass this resolution recognizing the Indian River Women's Club as a nonprofit, allowing the Indian River Women's Club to obtain raffle license from the state of Michigan, charitable gaming division, and to continue their fundraising efforts on behalf of everyone who enjoys Tuscarora Township.
I motion to accept their status as a, for a resolution for a charitable gaming license for the Indian River Women's Club. Also, over the years, they've also given out scholarships for college books. I know I received one ages ago, so.
They donate to the fire department.
I think we'd be hard pressed to find an organization that hasn't benefited from the Indian River Women's Club. 60 years we've been active in our community. Support? Support. And further discussion?
Just out of curiosity more so, what are the raffles going to entail?
Jane?
In our spring fundraiser, we're planning to raffle 2 baskets, if we will. Unknown what we're gonna do for our fall. So initially, we get to apply and be approved as a nonprofit organization. We have a lot of proving to do in that area. And then we apply for the raffle license. But once we're approved and we have the first fund, then we can, if we want one for next year, we just submit additional dates. So
To the state, to the gaming?
To the state,
Okay.
yes, it's all to the state.
Okay. So this is the first gate, and then from here on, once you've proven yourself to the Gaming Commission in the state of Michigan, you're good to go.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? All in favor of passing this resolution to recognize the Indian River Women's Club as a nonprofit, allowing them to obtain raffle license or to prove themselves to the state of Michigan, and to continue their fundraising efforts on behalf of Tuscarora Township, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Unanimous. And item F.
Oh, that's fine, forgot about that.
Item 2. Okay. Jonathan, you want to take the lead on that?
Sure. So I previously stated, we had discussion last meeting about, bids for a more, for a permanent township attorney. I just like to file a motion that the board complete attorney contract bid, set a bid deadline, I guess, as far as receipts of interested parties. And then I think it might be wise to create a criteria sheet, as a formality of, almost a resume for us to look at and be able to choose the best of the township off of experience and such of that nature.
Do we want to we want to set a bid deadline, do you also want to have this criteria sheet in advance of the of getting the request for proposals out? I guess that's my question is, when you say bid deadline, do you mean that you want the request for proposals to be put out there to the public, or you want them back by a certain date?
I think back by a certain date.
Okay.
You know, and we can, I don't know that a criteria sheet would need to be you know, submitted or created or presented, you know, prior to that. You know, I think once all of the applications have been submitted, I think then we can sit down and review and
Okay.
fill out the checklist.
Use a criteria sheet just to compare candidates. Okay.
Do you want to make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion for the board to complete attorney contract bid, set a reasonable deadline to receive applications and to create a legal criteria resume sheet.
Motion on the table, do we have support for that?
Yeah, I'll second that. Can we fine tune when we want the deadline to be for people to submit their applications? So that's all this, we don't have to come back to it again.
So what's our thoughts on it, Liz?
So we've got an amendment to this motion. We want to leave the motion on the table.
But the motion says set bid deadline.
What about that at the March board meeting?
First meeting?
March? Yeah. Do we have, yeah. So we will have that by the March. I don't have that exact date.
So we'll have to have it like a week before, we'll have to,
Okay. Gordon's gonna give us that date.
March 11th.
Okay,
It's
so,
the township board meeting.
okay, so we want them a week before, you want the 4th? Okay.
that should give us enough time.
Okay. So we're gonna put out requests for proposals for, legal representation, to be received here by March 4th. Okay. Motion on the table by Jonathan, second by Lori. Is further discussion, questions? Do you want to spearhead writing that up, or do you want help with that from the office?
And, probably handle it.
Okay, okay, so, all right, fine. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, good deal. We can do that. With that, did I forget anything under new business?
No.
Public comments. Floor is open. Yes, sir. Come on in.
And I just forgot to tell you that we got our wayfinding signs in poles for the Green Dot, the Bow Beach, what's the other one? Marine Park, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
good,
So, yeah, we got those in, and they'll be put up in the spring.
very good. Good deal.
I saw the invoices, so I was hoping somebody
I know I dropped
received
it off for you.
them.
Hello, my name is Patrick McGinnis. I've been witnessing on social media lately, people complaining about the cost of our police department. I consider the police department a necessary evil. It'd be nice if we didn't need them. But there's one family here in Tuscarora Township this past summer. The husband is still alive because the police department was there when he had a chainsaw accident, saved his life. There was a little girl a couple years ago swimming off Green Dock, started drowning. This man here jumped in and saved her. I'm sure that family appreciates it. A few years before that, there was an armed robbery at Pat and Gary's. Within 30 minutes, the police department captured the individual, retrieved the gun, and he was prosecuted. I'm sure the people are safer because that gun's off the street. Anyone who complains about the police department, who when they don't even know how many police officers we have, is out of touch. I think we all owe a lot of safety and gratitude to the police department for the service that they provide. Thank you.
Thank you. Floor is still open for public comment? No? Okay. Public comment is closed. Do we have board, we didn't have board comment to this agenda. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn? May we have a motion to adjourn? Sure do.
And I'll second that.
Very good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 8:38. Thank you. Longer than I wanted.
Gotta put our shirt on.